going clear with 100 metres to go for Walker. Saracen Knight's flying an Irish Flame who needs the line, and the Knight's got it.
Tranquilla straightens up now. Shamrock Lou the leader. Kazza Tranquilla's coming, but so is the post. Shamrock Lou.
Crusader won't run a place. Prime Candidate in front. He's getting tired, but Tiger and Purple Sector charging. Prime Candidate.
Arnie's Boy levels up to Butley Lad. Butley Lad, Arnie's Boy. Arnie's Boy poked his nose in front. Arnie's Boy did a little too well.
Participants, jockeys, trainers, racing media, non-bettors included. Nothing on the show should be taken seriously other than the betting advice provided. This message was approved by the MailBag.com.au. By viewing the show, you lose all rights to complain and or sue. Please enjoy the show. Jonathan Walsh live from the shed. Yes. What's that?
This is what happens when you only get like 45 minutes of free time to yourself in lockdown with toddlers and angry pregnant missuses.
Okay, so please elaborate for those of us who aren't in that situation. It sounds awful.
There's 4.4 standard drinks in this can. I could drink 2 in this show. I'll be off me rocker, go inside, and no one will be the wiser what happened. I'll sit down and watch the footy in silence, and no one will talk to me. It's grouse.
Wow. Okay, Curly, what are you drinking tonight?
Courtesy of one of Sydney's best mounting yard pervs, Rob Scurry. He sent me this Coates Shiraz from McLaren Vale. It's the quality of this wine is excellent. This actually is made by Dwayne Coates, who recently was awarded a Master of Wine. Only one of 5 people in Australia that has that title, and about 800 worldwide. So big thanks to Rob for sending that one to me. Do you
reckon Master of Wine's named after the horse? Dick Omens, what are you drinking?
This is
Apart from your own bathwater.
I was actually just about to say, COVID's been good to you in your alien hibernation. You look as young as I've ever seen you in my whole life knowing you. What have you done to it? Have you been just road-gaining the shit out of it, have you?
Mate, it's just a fair bit of growth there. Must be when they gave me the anal probe, mate. Bit extra. No, I haven't had a haircut for ages. It's no good. No good at all.
I'm drinking a red wine courtesy of Scurry as well. Head red. I've run out of goats. I'll get some more.
Yeah, I think we're all rapidly running out of goats just purely because of these shows. We'll start with the mail is. I want to get your thoughts on PVL's Everest campaign. Walshy, you first.
I know nothing about Sydney. I can't even leave me bloody shed at the moment. I've not left I left my property for the first time. What's today? Thursday. I went down the park Monday morning, or to the child's playground, which is a great thing. So we weren't allowed to do that up until 2 weeks ago. So the first time I left my house was this morning. So I mean, how am I going to know anything about Sydney? I haven't even bloody left Hyatt. Got no idea what you're talking about.
We're going to touch on
how genius is it? How genius is that ad? One of about, I think maybe PVL's account has tweeted maybe once or twice in 12 months, and each time it's been the Everest ad. It definitely it works because we're talking about it, and it gets the retweets and comments, and it just generates so much interaction. He has a crack at every other state and country, possibly even has a crack at the world. Sort of saying that Sydney is the centre of it. I think it was perfect. I think he's a mad genius.
Do we think that PVL's Twitter account is managed by PVL?
That's a good call.
Because whoever came up with the concept of no one can comment, the only way you can comment on the video is by retweeting and commenting. It's just the ultimate form of trolling. He's just like sitting there, just like,
yeah.
He's a purebred alpha.
Yeah.
Like,
all right.
Yeah.
Just look at just more PVL. Victorian jockeys are coming down to ride in the Sydney Sydney jockeys are coming down to ride in the Victorian Carnival. Victorian jockeys weren't allowed to go to the Sydney Carnival. again, PBL wins.
Yeah, but so he's doing a fantastic job for the people that employ him, being Racing New South Wales. He's doing a fantastic job for Racing New South Wales. Debatable what effect that has on the rest of the country, but for the job he's doing, he's genius. He probably needs to be on this show to really help explain it to us further.
Good job down here for him. Premier Victoria. Like he's calling. Get the joint back on track.
Speaking of here's a bit of like this is the truth and to do with Dan Andrews and no, right up Walsh's alley. Very senior jockey was unable to get to the races because he passed a roadside test, but he had his daughter in the car and she wasn't allowed outside the 5K, so he had to turn back home with her. So Dan Andrews is affecting gambling and punters.
No, that's just idiocy from the father though. Well, the child hasn't got to pass in the races. Like really, I mean,
it's going for one ride.
Huh?
It's just going for one ride.
Yeah, but it's not the rules are the rules. We stick to the rules. Hopefully, get out soon. It's pretty simple.
So you're supporting him now?
No, I'm not supporting Dan Andrews. What I'm saying is I'm not supporting the jockey who thought it'd be all right to take his daughter, because this would be great. I'll just go and take my family and drop them off outside the zone and have the house to myself. Be great. But I can't do that, so why should the jockey be allowed to?
Well, she's speaking of COVID. What has it done for you as a bookmaker? What's turnover doing? Is anyone betting with you at the moment?
I've got my regular clients, and it's very it's up and down because like the way the blokes bet with me, they might back. Say I've got half a dozen clients betting on a sad day. Non like general blokes having a bet. There's almost certainty they'll all land on the same bloody favourite, and I end up. Basically, I'm just betting bigger, but not holding as much. So I'm standing them for the national debt, and they get beat, and I'm like, oh, that's good. It's just not the same. The joint's completely cast. Like, win, lose, it just doesn't feel like real money. I can't feel the cash in your hand. I mean, you can't anyway with the clients. I pay them, they pay me, but it's not the same. You can't, and I'm not getting the greasy pig because I can't. When I'm on the course, I can put the favourite into an amount, might lay another couple of horses under $10, have the $8 chance, the $20 chance running for me, and I'll back the $8 chance, back the 20 to 1 chance, and maybe even back the 50 to 1 chance. And if one of those three horses I'm on, there's 12 runners. If they hit the line, I've laid the other 9. It's just a complete fill. But I'm not getting the book fillers to do that at home.
Yeah.
And basically, I've got one bloke that just. Actually, I've got more than one bloke, but there's one bloke in particular. Like on Saturday, I was doing my Lemon and Sars, but then he backed Mark's Crusader, and I just stood it for the national debt. Then he backed up in the last and had an enormous bet on non-conformist. And if it would have won, I would have done heaps of money, like more than I'm standing them out the gate. It's no good to me. I'm not bookmaking. I'm just punting against my punters.
Yep.
So
sort of out of desperation to just make an earn out of the time you're giving it.
Oh, just pure and utterly gamble. Like, it's all it is. It's just you're not using the figures to your advantage because most of the businesses, best of the best or top fluck. So, and you're not putting. I can't make it happen. Like, if I want to lay a favourite on course, I can go over the call. Look, I find laying horses on the fair just puts a rocket up them because the fair's great, but you are playing against the hardest of hard heads in the industry. So, it's hard to get it right on the fair, but on course I seem to get it right more often than not. But no, I need to be back on course. Miss the character. It's just completely different. It's watching the tally's not the same. See the horses in the flesh hitting the line. I love it.
Do you reckon there could be a big upswing? I'll speak from experience from when I wasn't allowed on course in Queensland to the feeling of being back there is like I take my office with me to the course now because how can you bet anywhere else? Like just being like I just had that feeling being back there is that you feel like you're missing so much of more of a feel of what's going on just by being there.
100%. You know the heads in Queensland racing too. Like you can sit there, you know who owns what and who's backing what. And you can see, especially when I go to the, I love going to the goat tracks. Like I do 2 meetings a year at Hanging Rock, and my brother does Flemington, those meetings. Great Western, Hanging Rock. I haven't been to Gunbower because, the way the meetings work out, but I love those little goat tracks where they jump and run and lead. And
yep.
the smart heads in the area, and if you see them back and one with one of the other bookies, it changes. You don't get access to that information at home.
Yeah, you're losing so much like valuable intel that you might only use once a meeting, twice a meeting, just from the on-course population, or you might be watching a horse parade and some bloke will go like, because you're there all the time, he knows. He might just say, oh, this thing had a virus last week, or whatever it is. There's like little pearls that tick you over. Like, we're frothing over a 9% profit on turnover sort of thing. Like those little bits all the way up to that 10%. So I think we're doing good to survive, but I can't wait to get there. I think we're going to be airborne because we've had to perfect other skills, and then when you get back there, I think we're going to be better.
I don't know. I'm more worried about the people that we get the people actually betting back there for myself. But I go back to, like, I've had my license 11 years now. Early doors, occasionally I'd have a baggy computer operated. Like, you'd have more staff and you'd have someone there on the
what?
Hey? Baggy. Like holding the bag. Baggy.
Oh.
Don't say it.
So that's
alive. We're alive.
Yeah, that's what you call, baggy clerk, computer operator, a runner. But like, no one has a runner anymore. But that runner got one thing right for the day. They paid their wages. Like, the pricing moves and that. Like, they only had to get one bet off the right way and that covered their wages. But normally they get more than that off. Like, the dynamic of on course has just completely changed. And hopefully we've got something to come back to. And hopefully we can work towards an integrated cashless system at some stage soon, where the punter has access to tap and go, and that feeds directly into your computer. I know we're working on that sort of stuff at the moment, but in the short term, I want to, hopefully the bookies can work with the race clubs and just have ATMs situated in very close vicinity to the betting rings, because people blowing about. So many people blew about the market pricing and they can't even add up. But if I've got 125 on my board, the bookie next to me's got 120, and the other bookie's got 140. If you take the best odds of those 3 boards, you might be betting 110. So, if you're there, you got access to it. If you're not there, well, you clearly haven't.
All right. Well, we need an Alien update as well. What have you got for us?
Oh, Alien update. The next series of that Ancient Aliens is on Netflix. I've watched a couple of shows, but I'm a little bit disappointed. I think I said last time we come on here there was like 10 series of the. It seems to they recycle the same sort of information. So
we're still going with the tall, the medium, and the tall grade.
That was the Grouse Snyder stuff where the CIA killed him after he did it. Remember? That's the YouTube. Is it Phil Snyder?
Yeah, I think it was from memory.
Yeah. It is a must-watch. The hour of Phil Snyder's last interview before he got knocked on the head. That's a must-watch. I've watched that Social Dilemma too on Netflix. Have you boys watched that?
No, I've been tipped it. I haven't watched it.
Yeah, it's okay.
I haven't watched anything.
But since everyone's commenting on me Twitter with those alien feeds, all this alien propaganda pops up on my Facebook. So I have been reading through that, but it's got too many, like, just gives me the shits. The articles aren't the right way, aren't structured. They just give me a taster. They don't give me what I want to see. And then they just leave me to some YouTube video, and I haven't got time to watch it.
I think we should get some questions out of the way before we get to the racing stuff. There's a stat here. I got one from Ross Brody. It says it's not me, but someone else viewing the live stream just asked me what's happening with Wishy's Yogi Bear.
Yeah,
it looks like a mid 2003 Blink 182 comb over.
I need we've got plenty of air.
The Geelong area.
We need I need to get the blonde tips back through and do the duck face.
Get to the Geelong Cup with your white belt and your white sunnies and your white shoes.
Oh,
Mate, if I could get the Geelong Cup,
white sunny man.
if I could get the Geelong Cup in any outfit and betting cash, I'll be queued up there today. I'll be running. I'll borrow someone's bloody Kenworth that I've financed and run through the barrier, knock over a couple of coppers at Lara or whatever, and get straight there.
Peter, we've got a question from Tiggsy. It's up the top of the YouTube. Make sure we get to it when we talk about the Turnbull.
Okay, we'll do. Let's just note that if you're signing up for the Mailbag newsletter, we're going to start doing a bet and forget little summary of our best bets. We're going to use staking advice. These are bets that have already gone out to subscribers, so you're getting a bit of sloppy seconds, but it will include a quaddie based on Punting Form data as well. So if you're not signed up, sign up through the website. There's a link in the comments in the description, and you'll get that just after 9 a.m. on Saturday, which should be good fun. But let's get into the big one, the Group 1 Turnbull Stakes, Flemington, 2,000 metres, race 7. Here comes the market, the synthetic holds, and Jack Dickens, take us away.
Really good race. Really good race. Superstorm is easily the most exciting horse in this race for me. Barrier 12 is a concern, but the bigger concern is the rider. He is not up to riding in Victoria.
Who's the rider?
William Pike. He'll get a couple right. They all do, but he's making a lot of tactical errors.
Yep.
And is definitely a negative factor when considering the price that you think this horse should be, in my opinion. Very Elegant scares the shit out of me. Drawn 9. It's going to get a good run. I think Surprise Baby is the most likely winner, but Barrier 1 with no speed is scary. I thought Vow and Declare, would be surprised if they sort of were half positive and roll a little bit forward. It should have won this race last year on the way to almost winning the Caulfield Cup and then winning the Melbourne Cup. It's a deep race. Master of Wine, you can't knock. Warning, you can't really knock. Kingswood Dream, you can never knock. The horse, I think, is big overs. And probably a bet each way if you do that. It's probably where I almost do, but I still don't, is number 8, Actow. Casts given none first up. This is a real talented little horse. I think it might have run against Steel Prince, and they SP'd about the same. And it was like, which horse is going to be better, Steel Prince, Actow? Steel Prince, we've seen almost beat Surprise Baby this sort of time last year. I think Actow's progressive. I think Actow's exciting. But most of all, Actow's drawn Barrier 5 and has some speed. So I think he's going to get a really, really nice run here versus a bunch of them might not.
All right, we'll just run a few replays. We've got the replay last 600 of Surprise Baby running second in the Fian, and then we'll have a look at Very Elegant running 4th in the George Main, and then Actow 9th in that last start open handicap. Wish, what are you rating as a bookie?
Oh, don't worry as a bookie. I'm not a bookie. I'm a punter. I've just told you that. I'm only a bookie when I get back on course. I've got a real big bone to pick. The only reason I left my house today was to go and buy Best Bets. It's a bit the same as last week. What the hell is happening with Best Bets? I like to have them sit in my hand. I like the size, take a few notes. I've had to go and bloody print one out on the back of my old finance papers. Best Bets, get your act together. You've changed your printers. There is no point selling a form guide when the fields are available Wednesday at midday and you can't get a guide till whatever time the news agency opens Friday. Shame on you, Best Bets. Sort it out. I want it.
Be careful.
Thursday morning.
Just be careful, because I had a negative word to say about Best Bets on Twitter, and Gator Gately blocked me.
Hang on, no. Gator, or where we go last Friday night, it's half. When I can't bag him, it seems and was decent by it. What's the
I'm bagging their logistics.
What is the answer to your problem, though?
Answer my problem. They've changed printers. It's logistics.
Puntingform.com.au. It's there. As soon as the fields are out, it's there. Click it. Oh, there it is. Oh, there's all my notes I made.
Like-
All those scribbles you made, it saves them in there. So the next time you go there, oh, fuck, it's still
100.
there. Unbelievable.
What do you think
It's
of
unbelievable
it?
technology, mate. It's growing. You don't need to fax anything. You can email stuff. You,
What do you mean though? I like having the guide in my hand.
you could type your notes on the races and then print it off like you've
Print it
just
out.
done, but it's actually the punting form stuff. You could have adjusted.
Oh no, the punting form's a grouse.
Could have even done your own prices.
No, you missed the point. I like the size of the book. I like the feel of the book. I want the book in my hand, and I want the book in my hand when I go and buy my Tats Lotto ticket and best bets on a Thursday morning. It is fucking simple. Right.
It was the most Abe Simpson thing I've ever seen you do. That was like you yelling at a cloud just then. It was bloody magnificent.
Right.
All right,
I'm
go
happy
on.
now.
What do you like in the Turnbull?
I'm betting in the Turnbull. I'm compelled to bet in the Turnbull because the odds are just ridiculous. Vow and Declare is the 5-year-old gelding. Look, I'm looking at Top Sport here. It's been 26 into 21s. I'm sure there's probably still 26s around. This horse has been trained the European way, and it's got the class. It has the class. It's extremely well weighted in this field, and it's 20 to 1, 26 to 1, and you must be betting each way. And then down the bottom, Toffee Tongue, number 15. It's $51. Like, you're not going to miss the small amount you have on it if it hits the wire. Like, it's going to be better over 2,000 metres. And, I'll be back in the top and bottom in this race in an open field. The value is just there. Have to take it.
What's the track doing Saturday? What's the forecast going to do? That question is based around Very Elegant going around at $4, mid-4s. And
well, it's Flemington, so you can't bank on it being too soft. You don't know. I can't get the Melbourne Cup day 2 years ago out of my head when there was like 55 mils of rain, and it started on a soft, went down to a heavy. Walsh almost drowned it there on the lawn, and then they finished out a soft 6.
Yeah, I went on the lawn to rob people. Sent me brother to me normal spot. Yeah, who had the glass laugh? Yeah, great.
It wasn't a bad barrier trial last week.
Yeah, I think he's right. Like, there's so much value in just even down to like Kings Will Dream at $18. Vow and Declare, Warning. Kigsy likes Harlem. What do we think of Harlem? I'm happy to be against it.
I'm not. If I was on course, I couldn't be against it. Like, the general rule as a bookmaker is you're not going to get the 100 to 1 shot and stand it for 10 grand or whatever it is.
As a punter, though, when it wins, it's drawn soft and gets a really nice run, often rails and runs sort of midfield. It's drawn 11 here, too much thinking.
But it's a 9-year-old too.
Yeah, I think Actel. I wouldn't lose Toffee Tongue too. I agree with you. But Vow and Declare and Actel, the two I like outside the market, and I'm cheering heavily for Surprise Baby because I've got it in a few futures with Pistol.
May Gambler have mercy on my future betting soul.
God, good, Allah, Harry Potter, Gary Senior.
Yeah.
Gary Ablett Senior. How good the YouTube. Second coming.
Have you watched the whole thing, Wishy? You would have watched the whole thing.
How many times did you watch the whole thing? Is the question. Not did you watch the whole thing?
I got into about the 5-minute mark and I said, go and get the potatoes out of the oven. I'm like, for Christ's sake, this is lockdown needs to end. I'm just getting nagged. Like, all you do is lock yourself in the office all day. I'm like, you should be thankful I've got a bloody job. Like, for Christ's sake. It's a tough gig, I'm telling you. This is the happiest time of the week sitting in the shed. I backed a horse today called Fender Bender. I backed it last night, $750 less deduction, started 280, ran second. Like, just had one bet for the day. No good.
Okay, good. The Gilgai Stakes, Flemington Race 4, 1,200 metres. Here comes the synthetic hold, and then followed by the speed map. What are we talking about? Dickens, go for it. Tofane, Santa.
Race 4, was
Vittori.
it?
Race 4, Flemington.
The Everest horses.
Happy to bet around the Everest horses. Thought Camel Passer confuses me. Was Willow riding it? I reckon it's going to get the right part of the track. Thought it's a half a chance. Male is Zutori has improved and he's flying. Beat him. Good horse. Barrier 6, I think it has the edge over Tefani. Barrier 4. Kevin Tari, it's sucked enough in my life. You can go away. 50 stars. Doesn't need like 2,000 metres. Dollar for dollar. Tony McAvoy, like, he's thinking outside the box, the old boy, isn't he? Like, this was 1,200, quick back up into the 400 metre race. 2 weeks off, back 1,200. Probably almost leads, though. There's not a lot of speed here. I wouldn't be surprised if the inevitable improve. They backed it last start. It was a bit of a hot go. Got it wrong, but I think it'll improve. But I think it's drawn 1, so I don't want to be drawn 1. I'm happy to be with and tip Zutori, number 2, Zutori.
All right, very good. We'll run the replay of the Bobby Lewis, which is Zutori and Tefani. Wish, what'd you like in the...
I'll be back in a sec, guys. Sorry.
I usually love these straight races. I've always had a lot of time for Satori as a horse, and it's good enough. They're all sort of grouped up together here. Tefane, Kementari's, they're all... Look, this one's a more open race. It'd be a great bookmakers race here because you'd lay, if you lay Tefani at under 350, Santa Ana Lane 440 under like even in excess funds, they're the horses on the up. Excess funds on it. It's a 4-year-old, but it's coming off its 3-year-old season. Yeah, it's just tough. Like, if you're bookmaking, you get a lot of percentage out of the favourites in this race. Like you got four horses that you could lay under $6, and you're going to get 80% of your market out of them. Generally, in these circumstances, I'd pick one of the 4 under the one of the 4 in the market and go for it, and then have a couple of roughies running for me. But I really don't know which way to go.
Well, why is Tefani so much shorter than Zutori? It's half the price. It beat it last start, fair and square. Probably advantage to the on paces. It ran past it.
It's not half the price. Oh, I suppose it's nearly, yeah.
Well, it's $6, $5. It's $2.80 and $3.10. Close enough to half the price, Jonathan.
Yeah. Look, if you actually on the normal way, I'll do my form. You'd be on Zutori. You got a 5-year-old gelding versus a 5-year-old mare, both second up, and Zutori's drawn outside of Tefane. So I agree with you, but it's not really a betting proposition. The race probably could have something on excess funds down the bottom at big odds for mine.
All right, very good. Let's move on. Race 6 is the Bart Cummings over 25-10 metres, the Group 3. The winner gets the whatever. And then we'll bring up the synthetic hold and the speed map. Dickens. Race 6. Race 6.
Oh, this race is...
It's chaos.
It's chaos. We want to watch the footy. So, look, I think Steel Prince is the best of those in the market. Lord Belvedere is 3 from 3 track and trip. It's going to run a good race. It's going to get a soft run for Barrett too. Okay. Then we move away from those horses. Polly Gray, 41 or bigger. You just can't lose on it. I don't think it can win, but it was so good at Caulfield when slaughtered, but you just can't pen it at that price. Get something out of it. Same with South Pacific. SP profile's outstanding. I really, really like number 20, Supergirl at 100-1 here. Have $50 on it. You won't miss it. If it gets a run, it could fucking win. It can win big time.
You won't miss your $50 if you live out of Victoria and you got a job and all that sort of stuff and you're not in lockdown.
Well, we're going all right in Victoria, Jonathan.
You're going all right. I'm on the bones of my ass.
Oh, yeah, you're always on the bones of your ass.
I'm sitting on a camp chair in my shed drinking bourbon cans.
That's perfect life for you.
Well, actually, it's spiced rum, but anyway. And now I'm drinking Carlsberg, but anyway. I'll be primed up to watch these cats get absolutely fucking smashed.
Oh, wow.
Right, Johnny, I'll back in Percy in each way. If the track's hard and if we don't get any rain, the track's good. if you've actually seen when Flemington's been a good 3, it's been suited on pace. First hand sort of half a horse way up. Barrier 1 sits on pace. Double figures. Yeah, something each way for mine.
All right, good. Outstanding. We got there in the end. Thank you to you both for previewing those 3 feature races at Flemington. We now go up to Curly Country. Eagle Farm Race 8, Curls, the Spring Cup Quality 1400. Here comes the market. There goes the speed map. Let's talk.
Okay. Let me just bring up Eagle Farm Race 8 on dynamic here.
I know you've just been swilling back Shiraz for the last 30 minutes. You actually have to do something now.
Yeah. So we've seen the speed map here. We've seen the speed map. We've seen the synthetic hold. We've got a little bit of tempo here, but we've also got David Van Dyke with the favourite here, Desert Lord. Now, I've been doing a little bit of digging. I wouldn't say that David Van Dyke's consumed me, but he has a piece of me, definitely. Just to get an understanding, I've talked about this a lot. You know, you do the form traditional, but then I try and get in the head of trainers. I want to understand what a trainer's doing, what his patterns are. People are creatures of habits. I want to try and understand what they're doing. So what I've noticed with David Van Dyke, and I'm not sure whether we can roll. We just put up this little stat grab that I've got off Punting Form before we talk about Desert Lord in particular. But David Van Dyke giving horses month between runs, so 28 days or more between runs. Something I sort of noticed, and I just had to dig a little bit deeper, a pattern that has come up here. I've just got to bring up on my thing. So horses that are 28 days or more. So he'll win first and second up, got great stats, right? Really good first and second up stats.
Shit.
And then they slowly taper off third and fourth run in. So what David's done now is he's starting to give horses 28 days plus between runs with a little barrier trial, winning at 43% winning strike rate. He's won 27 races from 63 runners in the last 12 months at 70% pot.
You don't see strike rates in the 40s, do you?
In Queensland, you often see trainers on a run at 40. It's not uncommon. No, you don't see it. No, I'm kidding. I was kidding.
Some trainers.
But this is a thing, right? This is a thing. Now,
yeah, some trainers.
Someone asked me a question the other day about time between runs. I think it was last week. Someone asked time between runs, and it got me thinking about DVD, seeing his horses have a month between with a little barrier trial. He's had a couple of horses recently that have apparently been vetted, sold to Hong Kong, failed the vet, barrier trial produce, and it's become a bit of a pattern. So what I've seen, what puntingform.com has been able to show us here, 43% winning strike rate with horses that have had 28 days or more between runs. Not only winning first up and second up, but winning like fourth or fifth run into the preparation off a 28-day break. Desert Lord, if we could just roll the tape on its last start win. Now, I know he goes around short, but we're going to talk about the price here. So Desert Lord resumed in Queensland the other week. Hopefully we're watching it here. Ryan Maloney, dead set, was trying not to laugh at the 300. I'm not saying it was a deep field or anything, but the way this horse put them away, it was comical. And it even sparked Josh Fleming has got a few Flemingisms, I call them, in his calls. And Strike Me Pink is one of them. Yeah. And when this thing put 12 on, or it put a big gap on them anyway. It put a big gap on it, did it in second gear. And, it prompted a Strike Me Pink from Josh. It won that easily. So we've seen this horse go away.
He's had a look over the shoulder, hasn't he? A little peep and just slowed it down a little bit. Don't embarrass him.
Like wow. I think he got home in 7 lengths quicker than average last 600, and he did it in second gear.
His last 50 would have been like he had the handbrake out.
Yeah, so it was huge, and it's going to get some nice tempo. He's going to slot fourth, fifth one off here, and he's going to have the same run. The second favourite's a North Queensland horse coming down to the Big Smoke. Now, it's $1.90 on Top Sport. If you use your top-up token, you can get $2 right now. One thing I've noticed about this stable is there's no money on Betfair for these horses. Like very rarely is there big money for these horses. These horses, I've noticed, have been drifting in the market a little bit. Now, when you've got the obvious one, like last Thursday on the show, I said we own a smart one, was a complete moral. It rated somewhere between Black Caviar and Haylist, and it went around at the Sunny Coast. It was $1.70, and I think it SP $1.28. So the obvious ones are there when...
Did they pull it up on you?
Sorry?
Did they pull it up on you?
Can't pull up DVD's horses. They're just too quick. They go too fast.
You got to
I feel so much better after that one can.
All I'm saying is, and we backed one Wednesday that was almost won, and it was like $2.90 at the $6 on the fair, and I backed it anyway, and it's ran second. Do not worry what the market tells you. DVD 28 days or more off a freshen with a barrier trial is a bet, and Desert Lord will be winning on Saturday in this race. It'll just be what price we get on the day, and I think we probably get better than the $1.80 now.
Love it. Outstanding. Anything else that takes your fancy up in curly country? We've got footy in 5 minutes, so
there's a horse in race
before you go, just a mark of respect from us at the Mailbag. 6 months Curly's been with us and has gone at 19%, a bit north of. We've just sort of rounded that down to, don't know why, we probably shouldn't have, but 19% profit on turnover. Yep. Accountable late mail betting advice delivered via our app. But to go at 19% is fucking elite.
I missed an opportunity.
If you're watching this and you're not on it, you should be. Well done, mate. Yeah. What an effort. What a fucking start.
You missed an opportunity not getting to the bull this year. That would have given you the juice you needed, I reckon.
I forgot to add into it is that the bet's a 9 o'clock race day. There's no there's no night before the Toowoomba Provincial's taken $12, about a $3 chance. So pretty happy with the way it's going. Hopefully we can continue on, but being selective and picking your mark, I think, is the key, and just having patience is probably one of the things that I've learned probably, and doing this has sort of helped me. I don't have to bet. I just got to make sure that what I do is the right bet.
I'd say you and all of us are favourites to improve, because we're constantly working on things to make us better. Yep. And we're a big team. Everything that we figure out, anything that works, we share. And we've made a lot of ground through this COVID time with like the way we do things.
If you can survive in COVID, you're going to get through. It's no different to any other business. Whatever you do, you're going to come back bigger and better when you've got more insight from being on course. It's the
the provincial service lost in July. So I had a losing month in July, and that's when all hell was breaking loose, and the access to get on course was diminished. So I definitely had to bet. So anyway, the last thing I'll say on Eagle Farm Pistol is there's a horse in race 3, number 2, I Am Swerving, which I declared a win and place lay at 250 at the Sunny Coast, and I think Brian Guy must have been tuning in because he scratched it. He's got it in Saturday, and it's a place lay again, race 3, and subscribers will be betting heavily in that race and betting around it.
That's outstanding. Declaring the place lay early is just sensational. West is best time. It's Kalgoorlie round. They're at Kalgoorlie at the moment. We just saw the Hannons won by Money Matters.
Ex-Groper, you should have bet. Curly and I, as your psychiatrist, weekly on the deep dive, knew that you should have bet, and so we promptly bet ourselves, and you didn't. Silly boy.
Yeah. Well, I enjoy doing my ass at Kalgoorlie because I'm no good betting at that track at all. But we only try and do a race-by-race service this Saturday, and the feature is the Kalgoorlie Cup. So brace yourself, punters. Like for those following my stuff at home, like it could just be complete and utter chaos this day. We could have backed something at 50s that runs second by a lip. Not too dissimilar to Gero actually yesterday. That was pretty good fun.
What was that called? That was sick.
Rebellion Air. I used to own that bloody fucking.
How's this? Right, you
freak
said
of a
it.
horse.
I'm on the phone to Curls. He doesn't say anything. Like we're both back it. I'm fuming. He doesn't say much. Then 10 minutes later, he goes, "I back that thing to place."
Oh, it was $40 the fare. I had to back it each way.
It should have won Walshy. Oh, fuck. It was 35's the fare.
There's
And
no
it was the end of a long day. You know, pistol
this is
tips or something, so you just give
so
it a little
good to
bit
sit
of it.
It's just so good to sit out here in peace and quiet and have a beer and fucking this is grouse. Like, I don't get the time. It's just this is bullshit. This lockdown's hurting me, and I thought he's going to open up the boat ramps this week. I can fish off the bank, but I can't take my boat out by myself, even with a bloody hazmat suit on. Just losing it.
Well, I have to try and have you on every week. So far, I had severe anxiety about, you and I combined and getting ourselves in a bit of trouble.
You're better off when they open up the bubble. You could just get on the train at Seaford, come up here, lock ourselves in the shed, drink out the Cobra Kai fridge, and then get the train, go home. You're the grouse. Just easy. You just go, sorry, I got business deal. Look after Das. I'll be back later. Yeah, sorry, Taryn, got shit to do. Be in the shed for 3 hours. I'll be fine.
Are you discussing the Kalgoorlie Cup at all, Piston?
The first show after COVID, we'd be in the shed till about 7 a.m.
All right.
Yeah, it depends if Revolver's open, I suppose.
Have you got a... No.
Kalgoorlie Cup. Come play with me. Small bet. Wasn't suited last start in run. I really don't care. If you're betting heavily in this race without being on course in Kalgoorlie, you've got serious issues. So that's Kalgoorlie in a nutshell. Let's wrap up. We've got the AFL. It's just kicked off. So we want to just basically stay on the air and listen to Walshy commentate Geelong. We've got some finals packs for the AFL, NRL. They're on sale on the website. Hit that up if you want. The NFL had its first week, which I didn't watch any of the NFL. Did you guys?
Yeah, I did.
Did you enjoy the wide receiver?
Yeah, I actually learned a bit about... Curly's probably the same. You end up watching... When you bet for a living, you end up watching a lot of golf, NBA and NFL, because when you plug in at 7 a.m., 6 a.m. on a Monday morning, it's like, if you look here, I'll show you. So that's my TV and that's my screen. So I'm working, but I've got the TV on in the background, and it's just always NFL or NBA or golf. So to have articulate, interesting betting information and starting to watch and understand, he backed a team. He backed a guy to score, to go over yards, yards run, because he thought they'd be in front. So when they get in front, the team won't throw the pigskin. They'll just run it to protect the lead and lower the risk. It's just shit. I've watched it for years. I don't understand anything about it. I learned more than I've learned ever just on one morning on Monday morning this week. I'm really enjoying it.
All right. Bloody good. Just a reminder, sign up to the Mailbag newsletter if you want to bet and forget. The best of our movers, full curly, gropers, all that sort of stuff, and the punting form data quaddy. Wish, any final thoughts?
Best bet, Sammy?
Yeah, your best bet. As it pains me to say, this General Bow was impressive. Race 1, number 1. There's an old...
we had a question about 2-year-olds. How do you do a 2-year-old form quickly, boys? I just watch them parade.
Watch them run.
I do. Watch them trial.
Watch them run, watch them trial. Just apply the theories that keep winning, which is, the good horses keep winning. Good horses keep winning. This horse, General Bow in particular, has won down the straight because not all horses in particular handle the Flemington straight. I just go back to some of the biggest fills I've had, which may have been like Exosphere, which I laid the place in the Coolmore at $1.60. First start down the straight as a young horse. This thing here, I think this is hard to beat simply because it's been down the straight. It won with a leg in the air and it's draw on the right part of the track in the straight. So I'm happy to back General Bow, and I'll take the first Well, clearly I'm talking now. No one's going to stop me. And I'm happy to back race 2, number 5, Portland Sky. Matt Laurie stable.
Ooh.
I don't know what the data says. He's I think he's travelling all right. And this horse was badly held up at Caulfield. I think it would have almost won with a clear run in a good class of race. Ben Mellon on. Oh, she's that the wild boar's kicking back on top of this big Carlsberg tin. Carlsberg. But Portland Sky each way I'm happy to back. And for anyone who wants to know, there's a Betfair Lay competition in which I am a dual winner. I feel a bit like Carlton, very successful in the early part, and I got the wooden spoon in the last period. So I've got to find a lay. Anything I've laid's just like I laid one
Did they pay you when you won your Betfair Lay?
Got paid twice, mate. I got paid twice.
I'm still waiting.
Oh, ask nicely and they shall receive.
You won't be
I
getting
think they're too busy having meetings, worrying about what we might say on this show because they've got massive problems with their in-play markets. But boys, we've let you off the hook this week. We're running out of time because footy started, so we'll deal with you probably on Monday or maybe next Thursday. We don't know. But I will
say something. Betfair haven't got any problems with the in-play markets. They've got problems with the information that the in-play punters are using. That would be more to the point, I think. So,
the problem coincides with them turning on the markets from home. So,
I don't think it's anyone at Betfair doing it, but I'd be very wary being an in-play punter.
As far as they're concerned, Jonathan, there's no problem. Doesn't happen, mate. It's all good. That's why they terminated our contract because we spoke about something that doesn't happen.
With having sitting on the fence, which hurts my ass. Betfair aren't the problem. It's the information that punters using Betfair have got, and it's the advantage they have over the rank and file punter. And Betfair need to realise that the rank and file punter is the one seeding the markets for the winners to bet into. So they don't have the rank and file punter. They don't have the winners betting. They don't have the turnover. They don't have the turnover. They don't have the fair. It's very...
Go in there. They're pumping ridiculous money into an SEN station trying to get the rank and file punter, but their product is not near suited or fair for the rank and file punter.
The
rank and file punter is so much better. The losing punter is so much better off betting with the plastics and getting the top ups, the bonus bets, the odds boost, whatever it is.
Yes and no. Yes and no. There's
100%.
value either way. Wouldn't mind backing Pretty Brazen each way in race 8 either. I can't even find a lay. This is going to be a great night. Hopefully Port Adelaide win by 20 goals. I hate Port Adelaide, but I hate Geelong more.
Pistol, I've got to answer these questions because they're thrown at me and I feel obliged quickly to answer it.
Let's go.
Firstly, I've backed Patrick Dangerfield to kick more goals than Travis Boak on the head-to-head markets at Top Sport. I hate Geelong, so...
Yeah.
Can we ask Toowoomba Tips if he hangs with Armo Dan? Dan and mine's lives have moved in different directions in the last 6 months, so no, we don't hang out. James Allpress asked, have you ever used your horse racing knowledge to get laid on course? I don't have to ask, James. I normally just go to the mounting yard and stand around, the most attractive women around the mounting yard and say things like sweaty ass too, bit clip cloppy. So no, the answer is no, mate. James also asked,
anyway, why would you want any more?
I don't need any more at all. James asked,
James Allpress is like right up your alley, mate. Like
James also asked, how many times during spring when you're driving to Toowoomba or Dalby or some shit joint, do you think, fuck this, I'm moving back to Melbourne? Every time.
Hey, Curls, I just thought of something really good. With this lockdown and that, if they let us in our family bubble and that, I'm a chance of taking you fishing and catching fish in the Hopkins before taking Dicko when you go down and see your olds in Warrnambool.
No, you owe me. You owe me and Peter.
There's no fish in that river.
And all catered, like, you got to bait our hooks. We're just going to sit back and drink goats. Well, you bait our hooks. I think I'll cast it myself and I'll reel them in myself, but you'll get them off the hook, gut them, scale them, rehook me.
You swim like Karen Perkins?
Oh,
There's
mate,
no
I
fish in that river anyway.
could swim a lot faster than you, mate. You'd float, but you wouldn't swim.
Hold on.
Little tugboat you would be.
What's going on?
Getting his flippers.
Oh, we're just waiting here. We've got no idea what's going on here.
We've got more viewers than we had
While we're
10 minutes
waiting.
ago.
While we're waiting,
House in Waterville. That's a trophy that I've got 7 for in the B grade.
well, Chris Tate asked me about Stardome in race 2. It's a Waller and Dittman. The
Load
answer
of
is
ribbons somewhere sitting in one of those buckets. I want to get the blue ribbons from the swimming out.
Peter, make sure you go through the YouTube ones.
Yeah, I've got Shartin race 10 going, about to jump. They're mulling around. Questions. They're mostly just comments about Walshy and Walshy and Walshy, and it's all about Walshy.
They love the Walsh.
They just love the wish. All right, Dickens, you got any best plays or anything like that?
I haven't watched the trials, and I'd just rather see parade, but I agree General Boat should be winning race 1, but I need to watch the trials.
Yep.
But the proven horse track and trip just is a big tick. I'm against Walshy race 2. I think Valaquenta will kill him in race 2.
Yep.
Kill him.
And Curls, you want to finish off that thought about Waller and Dittman on Stardome?
Oh, Chris Tate asked me a message about Stardome in race 2 at Eagle Farm. If you go through the race, I think maybe 2 or 3 of these horses have won a race in their last 8 starts. Stardome's one of them. I think it pushes forward on a pretty moderate tempo, and it's definitely a leading chance in the race. And maybe Skytrek, although he hasn't won since Walshy was fielding at Flemington. It's racing well, also racing well, but Stardome's definitely the leading chance in that race.
All right, very good. I've done my absolute balls today, but I'm on Ballistic King and something small on Star Performance in the last at Shartin. Guys,
When's
pleasure.
that?
Right, like they're mulling around now. It's about 10 minutes.
Guys, you very rarely get the Shartin mail. What was it again?
I'm
Ballistic
on
King?
Ballistic King for a unit with half on Star Performance.
All right, punters. So Ballistic King 750 across them all, and Star Performance.
I'm betting on
950 Top Sport, 950 Sports Bet. Do your best, guys. I'm going to get on.
I'm
Which ones are we back in here? I just logged in.
Shartin.
Yeah, what numbers?
Repeat them, Peter. This is grouse. Let's bet.
Start Perform.
Number 7.
Yep.
Half on 14.
Righto.
Can we get this live on the stream here now, or how long to go?
I want to cut it off just in case because things are close to getting thrown today.
Was it Star Performance?
That's what we want. Anything at Compegne while they're milling around at the start at Shartin? Where is that? France? Anything France race 1? Anyone?
No.
Not yet.
A little master.
How good's this bloody... Yeah, Tristan's a very, very good bookmaker. You know where he won't learn his trade? Do you know where Tristan Muirhan learned his trade?
No.
From Jonathan Walsh.
Tweed Head Greyhounds. Like all the best bookmakers started at the Dogs.
You know why he says that, punters, don't you? Do the math. Where did you learn your trade, Jonathan?
Whoa, great. The first meeting I ever worked was Geelong Cup heats at the Dogs. And I had a bloke I knew at the Advertiser. He put me in there too, give me a bit of a pump up. But we've they're betting Tote plus 5% at Shartin on Top Sport. So happy days.
What channel's it on, Peter?
You know, lead?
Sky 2.
Oh, they're racing.
Yep, they're off.
What colours are we?
We're 7 is Ballistic King. He's by himself in 5th.
Oh, yeah, that's a nice spot.
And then Star Performance is number 14 back in the field. It's got the green, red and black with the red hat. The second of the 2 runners.
I like where we are with the Ballistic King here.
Bit scary. I didn't anticipate Amazing Chocolate being that far forward, but that's okay. 1 out, 1 back. We're going to have to.
He's not worried on Ballistic King.
No.
He feels like he's got pony.
He's got a bit of pony.
Get to the outside and get into your work.
Yeah, he's
Get
got
into the work.
Let down. Come on, the King.
It's just a bit
Oh, what's this
grindy.
thing down the outside the white hat, Peter?
Not usual
Oh,
talent.
imagine what they would trade on the fair.
$1 now.
Oh.
Not good. All right, that's been fun. I'm going to go throw something out the window. Avoid if you're on Exhibition Street. Until next week. We'll catch you then. Wish it's a pleasure.
Big debut, Jonathan.
There's COVID.